Welcome to Elm Street, merch available now on sourkidsmerch.com.
Sour Kids Productions.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to Elm Street. I'm your boy. I'm your host, Money Elms. What is good, man? I always want to take the time to thank the viewers. Appreciate y'all, for the subscribers, the follow, the likes, the comments, all y'all support. I appreciate it, man. Salute to y'all. But we're doing it out here straight from D-Town, man. We're out here broadcasting, getting it in. Got a special guest today, man. I'm actually excited about my guest today, man. A real pioneer, Dallas legend, man. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce him, man. We got the one and only Bobo Luchiano, man. What's good?
Hey, brother. Thanks for having me, bro.
Oh, man. Thank you for coming through, man.
Yeah.
I know it's been a minute. We've been trying to orchestrate this whole ordeal together, and finally, we're here.
Yes.
And
apologize for that.
Nah, you're good, man. We all got busy schedules, and sometimes it conflicts with timing and all that. So the good thing is that we're here now,
yes.
And we're gonna get it in, man.
Let's get it in.
Oh yes, sir. We're here celebrating 50 years of hip hop.
50 years, can you believe
Hopefully
it?
another 50 after this.
Yes.
That's dope.
If they don't kill it off,
all right.
they might be trying to kill our sport off, man.
Damn.
What you think about that?
I mean, that'd be a damn shame.
It'd be a damn shame. But I know you heard the rumors.
No, actually, I haven't.
Yeah, and heard the rumors
Nah.
about how, songs aren't selling like they used to.
Okay.
I think it's just due to the streaming.
So I guess, I don't know if it ties into why a lot of different artists have been selling their catalogs.
Might be.
Because, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, they might have started writing on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Let me get up out of here and get it while the getting's good.
Yeah. Why my music still is worth something.
Yes, yeah.
Because,
yeah.
I was like, man, why would they sell their catalog, man?
Yeah.
But
Depends on who you are. Some of them are getting some cheese for the 100 million.
yeah.
You do it. You do it. Somebody wrote that check for 100 million. Think about your family.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to wait on the money. It's already right there.
Yeah.
So, that's a touchy subject. I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation.
Yeah.
I heard Slim Thug's against it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I'd never sell my catalog. So it's all about being.
But there's some rappers that, they've been getting that independent money.
Yeah.
And, that independent money is still good. So why change? I guess why get rid of it?
I don't think it's those rappers. Depending on who you're talking about. Like the boys from QC, they sold out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider them independent because they had a machine behind them. But if you independent and you making a bunch of money, it's not that many, first of all, of independent rappers that compared to ones that signed, who made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like being my own boss, but in some cases, that label can, if you reach a contract, you know what I mean, and make sure you negotiate a great deal, they can push some buttons that you can't push being independent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was having somebody on my show last night, and I had that same conversation because they were like, man, I'll always be independent. I said, okay, that's a lot of work. You better have that bread to be independent.
Gotta keep the wheels moving.
Oh yeah, you got to have money to be independent. I mean, because you gotta, all the travel is on you, all the hotels are on you. Depending on if you want radio, a lot of people say they don't. Radio is not important, but if somebody asks you to be on radio, you run your ass down there. You know what I mean? I know it's still important. So
it's definitely important
because kids are what run hip hop. You know what I mean? From 14. 25, 26 years old, especially the males. Women kind of fall off of hip hop kind of early, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could ever just sell my shit or just, if I was independent and I was making that kind of money.
Yeah.
If I was making like, what's that boy name out of Kansas City, Tech Nine?
Yeah.
I wouldn't sell my shit. Unless he just saw something, writing on the wall, he got diagnosed with some kind of, disease or something, and I'm not going to be able to continue. Yeah, I might sell my shit because Who says it's going to continue to sell at that pace when you're not the one out there promoting it? No one's going to do it like you do it. You know what I mean? So they don't have the passion like Tech Nine has, you know, in other words, his workers or his family members. So he's spearheading that. And if something came up and I could, you know, leave something for my family behind, yeah, I sell it.
Yeah.
Or a portion of it. You know what I mean? I ain't got to sell all of it. Dude, I pull a Mark Cuban. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I sell a portion of it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that one caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting Mark Cuban to
no,
just to sell.
no, that shocked a lot of people, bro.
Yeah,
you hear about that? She's that lady, you know, Old Texas Stadium, right? That's her that bought that area. They about to put. They think it's going to be a casino, but it's supposed.
Hey, that's what I heard. I heard Vegas bought some property, you know, and
that's her.
And
that's her.
It's in the making or something, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be amazing if it was a casino.
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of tax dollars.
Hey, but it explains how out of nowhere, you know, Choctaw kind of been present in the city.
Yes,
you know, they bought the old Texas Ranger Stadium.
Yeah.
So, you know, that should tell you something.
That. See, you teaching me something.
Yeah.
But I see their names all over it. You know, I live in that area, in that Tarrant County area. Yeah. I see their name up pretty much everywhere out there. So
yeah, so they bought the old Texas Ranger Stadium. So I mean, it just starts, you know, the wheels start turning. I'm like, something must be going on. It's in the making.
Something is in the making.
So I mean, that'd be dope for the city.
All they got to do now is legalize marijuana.
Oh yeah. But it's happening. It's already happening. You know, I was telling my partner, I was like, look, man, I was like, if you notice, you got all these CBD businesses that started popping up all over the city.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're there sitting, waiting.
Yeah.
For as soon as it passes, they're ready.
They're ready.
They're already first in line.
Already first in line.
You know, so all they got to do is, you know, open up shop.
Why Texas got to be the last and everything, though, man?
I mean,
I know why, but why?
I mean,
it's the Bible Belt, ain't it?
Yep. It's that, and then just, you know, there's still a lot of old school people running Texas.
Yes, it is.
So they're still hanging on to that, you know, but
Hot Wheels ain't trying to have it. You know who Hot Wheels is?
Oh, yeah.
Hot Wheels ain't trying to have it. That's what my wife called him.
Hey, everybody say he's, right now he's preparing, you know, all the shit that he's doing, because I guess he's, but I don't know how long is he waiting, because if he don't do it this time around, I mean, it's too late.
It's,
you know,
this
run
is
for president.
Yeah. Who, him?
Yeah.
Hell no.
I mean, because they're saying that all the movements that he's doing with the immigration.
What you think about that? Since you're
oh man,
how far first of all, how far your family removed from being in Mexico? 1, 2 generations or one?
Nah, actually, I'm first generation here.
Really?
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel then?
I mean, it's up and down.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, you know, there is a lot of people that go through this long process.
Yes.
To get over here.
Yes.
I feel for them it's not fair.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, but you just don't have Mexicans and crossing the border.
Yeah, I know it.
That's the only thing that you hear of.
Yeah, but
you don't hear these other Indians, Arabs, and everybody else coming through
Mexico.
But it's always a spotlight on the Latino culture.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and I don't know if it's
I don't like that either.
I don't know if it's because we're so close to the border.
Well, they coming through Mexico.
Yeah. But you know, everybody coming through is not Mexican.
I know it.
You know, they're from El Salvador, Honduras.
Yes. I said, what did I say? Venezuela, El Salvador.
No,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You know, just because of the living conditions over there, or you know, they might be under some dictatorship.
Exactly.
So
you
know, they want what we have.
Exactly. Freedom. They think it's free.
Yeah.
They think it's free.
Till they realize it.
We living in the matrix over here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't no telling what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? We think everything is all good, but I'm so worried about 2024, bro. It's you know, this election is about to come up at the end of the year, November 2nd.
I mean, I don't know. I just can't see Biden, you know.
He needs to step down.
Man. Yeah.
He needs to step down, let somebody else. Everybody says that, but just know that the age difference, they said that when he was running.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So you do know Trump is that age now.
Yeah.
Because they're like 2-3 years apart in age. Maybe 4 years apart. So.
But Biden I think he's a little too old. He's losing it up there. You know what I mean?
A lot of people are. They need to get out with the old and with the new. That's when this country will move forward. When we get rid of those backwards thinking people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need some fresh minds in there.
Yes. Get rid of that
new
racism.
ideas.
Exactly.
You know, and not scared, you know what I mean? Not to be scared of, get bullied by these other countries.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I'm off, I'm not for Trump's movement, but I am forward to, make this country great.
Make this country great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? For everybody, It doesn't matter race, color,
I think we might be the most hated country in the world right now.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
And they got us, they trying to devalue the dollar. Where they are devaluing the dollar. And it's all a plan, bro.
They all got an agenda, you know. And that's a whole new conversation, whole new show about
the politics.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that movie that the Obamas put out on Netflix that everybody didn't like?
Nah.
What was it called? Leave the World Behind?
No, I haven't.
A lot of people didn't like it because of the ending. But see, I'm a movie buff. And I can see, I knew what they were doing. It was kind of like a prep movie. And next year they got this movie coming out called Civil War. Bro, they're getting ready. As far as trying to get your mind right, what could happen in this country.
Oh, yeah.
It was really all about cyber attack.
I mean, it's funny because they show it to you. They put it in your face before it goes down.
Exactly.
Kind of like the whole pandemic.
Yes.
There was a lot of movies. You go back, there was a lot of movies that came out about pandemics and all kinds of shit.
About the monkey. You remember the monkey?
Outbreak.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's real. They'll put it in your face, but you're so busy, you ain't gonna pay attention to the clues as they're dropping to them on your lap.
But the biggest clue, I think lately was Mark Zuckerberg. You heard what he did, right?
What?
He bought a nice house over there in Hawaii and built a huge underground bunker.
Oh, wow.
This just made news last week.
Yeah.
So what's he getting ready for?
But I'm wondering, why would you do it in Hawaii with all that lava down there?
Well, depending on what island he's on. Some of those islands, those volcanoes haven't been active in forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I went to Hawaii, we went to Maui. Some of those, outside of what happened to Maui this year, I think that was just rain and shit. But no, some of those islands, those volcanoes are just dormant.
So you passed by Front Street then?
Who?
Front Street
in Maui.
Yeah,
we went to a lot of places. I went to that place. I went to the banyan tree.
And
I scored me some weed from the banyan tree. That whole area was wiped out. I heard. I think the banyan tree's still up. You know what the banyan tree is?
No.
It's like the largest tree. The whole park is that tree. So I mean, like the roots are growing up, going in the ground, coming up again. You can just sit on the roots. It's badass. You know what I'm saying? It's if you've never been to Hawaii, I encourage people to go.
Yeah. Because
I don't know if you're a believer of Jesus or God or higher power, but it shows you that it is a God. I mean, man, it's foliage over there you've never seen in your life. I mean, trees just so high, and it's a beautiful spot. I encourage you to go at least once in your life.
Yeah, I must check it out.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to take your wife, take your girl, take your kids. I ain't saying all at once, but that's something for somebody to experience.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's more than life than just work.
It's more than life than just America.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is America, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
the union.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, I go out there and see that. It made me want to go to other places to see what that looked like. I want to go to Italy. Man, I've been hearing a lot about Italy, man.
You know what? What intrigues me about Europe, it's old.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of history.
But see, we don't think about that in the United States.
No.
I mean, United States, what, 300 years old, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, there's places you can go to a city and it's new.
Yes. Not over there.
Not over there. Over there, it's like history.
Exactly.
It's kind of like going to New York. You go to New York, there's a lot of history over there. Because that's where kind of America started.
Yeah, that's the Mecca.
Yeah.
That's the Mecca.
So, so Europe does that to me.
Yeah.
Think about the Colosseum, the Romans, and
the Vatican.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to see that, bro.
Oh yeah, I wonder what kind
just one time.
What kind of secrets they got down there in the
they got something.
Oh yeah, they got a bunch of secrets.
See, when I say I'm a movie buff, I've watched all those kind of movies, bro, because I like to, especially if it's true to life. I like fiction and nonfiction movies.
Yeah.
But if it's a nonfiction movie, bro, I like that because it tells you kind of like what the history of the world is and that type of thing, and it just baffles me how people used to live and how far we come. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's weird.
But you know what? Sometimes I want to hear the other side.
Exactly.
The other side of that story. Cause
that's what I'm saying.
You know, this is always, you know, you get the his story. It's always his story.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But you never hear the other story.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
As far as what
really happened.
Of the supposed winner,
yes,
you know, of their journey, of their life, or whatever.
Yes.
But we never hear the other side. Of
that's right. What really happened?
Yeah, exactly.
I never thought of it that way. That's real though. That's real because we've grown up in this country thinking that we're the superpower, and Christopher Columbus, you know, and and then you know, as the last 30 years have passed, you started hearing people put chinks in that armor that story may not have been 100% true, you know. So you're like, what? Why they teach that in school? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like the stuff that they taught us in school, especially when we were kids. They never talked about Hispanics, you know, the contributions that y'all made on the country, the Asian people, the contributions that they made on the country, Black folks, the contributions. It's just been his story, you know what I mean? So, and we, you know, if you got a naive mind, you're gonna believe that until you do your own research. So, yeah, I love movies like that, bro. And I got to get over there to Europe and see some of that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that'd be wild.
That's definitely on the bucket list.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I seen this article where they were saying that Jay-Z kind of takes the whole new style that he got going on. He takes it from this gay artist.
Really?
He's like a gay painter or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, because if you look
Basquiat, I can't think of the name. The guy that died, a heroin overdose.
I'm not sure if that's his name.
If you look at his picture, you'll say, oh yeah, with the wild hair.
Yeah, got the hair.
Yeah, he's passed away now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if I pull up a picture of that because I was looking at him the other day.
Because I mean, if you look at the picture side by side, you know, Jay-Z looks like he's trying to steal this dude's full swag, the whole thing.
Look at him, bro.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Yeah, so you never know.
Yep, you don't.
But you can't copyright a style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a style rap you can. You should be able to be like, man, that's my style.
But I mean, I figured, you know, you trying to uphold this reputation as this D-boy in the hood.
Yeah.
And you know, you this and that. Why would you now come up and try to imitate, you know, if you're supposed to be this hardcore
trendsetter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the trendsetter. Yeah, so
I don't know, suspect, you know, them red flags start
Oh
going up.
yeah. What about the big boy they say Big and Small stole all his rounds from? You never saw that?
Nah, hell no.
He had the Juicy song, I believe, first.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how true it is, but you know, those rumors, that's why I say the media, you know.
Yeah.
They say he sent that tape in to Puff. Next thing you know, that song's on what is it, Ready to Die.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Happens all the time though.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
I know some guys out here you know, this area that similar situation happened to them too.
Really?
Yeah.
From someone major?
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can think about the little wheel with my Dougie song.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most famous one that I know.
Yeah.
You can educate me, but I mean, I was in Dallas. I was at that place when them boys showed up in Dallas the first time. I was doing an interview, and them boys came up and said, "Yeah, we about to introduce this new group out of California, Cali Swag District." And looked up, and them boys started singing that song, "Teach Me How to Dougie." Well, I immediately got mad. Immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And so it's just, you know, and then you don't even hear about Lil Will's version you hear about Teach Me How to Dougie. You know, and that's sad that someone can just come to steal your style.
Yeah.
But that's the labels. I'm pretty sure, like, no shade to them brothers. I'm pretty sure the label came to them and A&R came to them with that. Hey, man, we can take this. This dude's not even really signed.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We could take that and put some gas on the fire and get you way, way, way out there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just life, though. You know somebody else?
Yeah, but
You don't want to mention it?
I'm not trying to disclose it right now,
Oh,
but I'm pretty sure
Tell me off camera. Tell me off camera.
it'll come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely do
Something
that.
recently?
Yeah, recently too.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I found out, I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that shit went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll share that with you.
It seems like Dallas is always the. I can say that, but it could happen all over the country.
Yeah.
We just know it because we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So never know, bro.
You know, it's crazy because you know, a lot of artists, they usually talk about this Dallas curse. You know what I mean? I don't even know why, you know.
We put our own curse on us, bro.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it, but I heard one of the guys from my former clique, you know, he came clean. Shout out to Joe Mack. You know, he was in the group Nemesis.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And he said, we kind of started that standoffness, you know, because they were the first group to sign with a major label. And they wasn't really working with nobody. And then I think Dallas has got that moniker of, I got to be first. I got to be the one to break it out of here, you know, and everybody hates that, bro. Instead of somebody breaking, then the whole city gets behind them.
Yeah.
Because I hate to keep making this comparison, but I look at Houston. I heard your intro. Lil Flip is who put the spotlight on that new wave of Houston, you know, around 2000.
Yeah.
Which put Chameleon there and Power Wild in the spotlight, Slim Thug, put all those guys was able to get deals based off of what Lil Flip had done. You know what I'm saying? The labels, you know, I think me and you talked about that not talked about that, but talked about labels being in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one of the comments. Yeah, right off of 635 and Luna.
Mhm.
But yeah, they yeah, that's crazy though. You know, is that our city has that narrative, you know, that it's a Dallas curse, you know, Mo3 dying. What you think about that? You think that was our best shot?
No, but we were close.
We were close.
We were close.
I think he got more pub because of what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the ultimate marketing plan. I mean, no disrespect to his family, but I don't think a lot of people nationwide knew who he was until you see a man getting gunned down on a freeway like that. You know what I mean? And who is this guy? And then to follow it up with that Outside song.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that was shit. They had a bona fide hit. So and it took, you know, it took him places. Well, it took that record places.
Yeah. I think it
Rest in peace, Mo3.
It would have done what I guess the success that Big X the Plug is going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why do you think we don't hear Big X the Plug on the radio down here?
Same thing.
I mean, damn. He's independent.
Yeah.
Ain't got nobody to call and push that button. I need him on these 20 stations. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's doing his thing independent.
Yeah.
Again, I said, how many people can do that? You know what I mean? You know, I'm pretty sure if they came at him with a hefty bag, after you go so far and you realize I can't get any further, he may want to sign.
Yeah.
That's just my
I
opinion.
mean, but you don't want to wait too long.
No. Oh yeah, it'll get cold.
Because it could.
It could die out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it could die out. You're right.
That wave could stand as a standstill.
But the thing about it is, he's got that fan base. As long as he keeps his fan base to where he can just keep showing up and the crowd keep going crazy. You think about it, he had the Texas song. I mean, the Rangers used it.
Yeah.
UT used it. But I never really heard that song on the radio. Not in rotation. Maybe in the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So radio is I know it's straight business, but that's just one of them subjects that I used to have a radio show, and it's just a sore subject with me, bro. Because I did it for 8.5 years trying to help the community, you know, for free. You know what I'm saying? If I can donate my time like that, it just feels like I don't see the people in the community like when we were kids. Came on the 4, used to pull up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see the stars pop out, you know, people we thought were stars from the radio,
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And the Greg Streets and all that will pop out, and
Mhm.
you don't hardly see that anymore, bro. You know, so I don't know if it's just a different world we live in. It's about that dollar bill, you know?
Yeah.
So
They're chasing that bag.
they chasing that bag. I can't knock them because it's their bag to chase. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I blew some people's mind when I told them that K104 wasn't a corporate station. You know, that's family owned. You know that.
Oh,
That's an individual and been number one forever. So they kind of controlling this market. And shout out to Big Bink in 97.9 when they earlier this year they had finally beat K104. I said that was an accomplishment. That's something to be talked about.
Yeah.
Because K104's had a chokehold on Dallas for a long time.
But I mean, 97 is run by the machine too.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's corporate.
Yeah, they got
Radio
corporate
1.
funding, you know.
Yeah,
so,
Radio 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
anytime, you go against the big boys.
Yeah. The machine.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just a matter of time, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
why I say K104 should, I remember back in the day when, like Dr. Rock, I seen you had my boy DOC on her when Dr. Rock, he being in the skating rinks and that type of stuff down at the YMCA, for the high school parties. You don't see all that. It's too dangerous for one thing now. Nobody wants to put their life on the line, chasing a dollar anymore. But you just really don't see anything like that. I don't see it or hear about it. Maybe I'm too old, you know what I mean? But I remember those days, bro. Life was much simpler back then and more fun when we were coming up, hanging out on Camp Wisdom, cruising up and down from the car wash back to Pizzazz parking lot, it was just, that was the life, bro.
Shit, even back then, the Deep Ellum used to be.
Oh yeah,
the cruising scene.
You better not go to Deep Ellum. You better not go to Deep Ellum right now. Have you been to Deep Ellum lately?
As a matter of fact, yeah, I was there not too long ago for a Christmas party.
What time was the Christmas party over? And what day of the week was it?
Oh, it was Friday, but it was over. It was Saturday, but it was over at 9.
You know why? Because right around 10 o'clock, here come the police on the horses and all that, because it gets wild out there, bro.
Yeah, you hear every other weekend somebody get a shot.
So a beat up or something.
Yeah.
That dude walked up on that patio. You saw that last year? And just shot it in the patio and killed that guy. Killed that girl.
Wow.
It's just, they don't have any barometer of couth. Nothing phases them.
Yeah.
I blame the video game. These kids know how to kill at an early age. You know what I'm saying? They shoot. I hear my little girl upstairs playing Fortnite. We're talking about guns and stuff. I'm like, the fuck? What is this game about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it gets them ready. Yeah. So when they actually pull that trigger, it's not.
It doesn't bother them. Desensitized.
That's the word I used to use. Desensitized to killing somebody.
Yeah.
So.
But I believe it's in all things, not just that. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. But just imagine your kid. Well, we didn't have them kind of shooting games. Grand Theft Auto. We ain't have no game like that coming up.
Crazy nowadays, man.
Yeah.
I see a group of kids. I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna walk around.
Yeah.
Kind of like the movie Step Brothers. Where the dude's like, nah, we need to go the long way.
Yeah.
He's like, because we can't go this way. He's like, nah, that's like 20 minutes, 20 more minutes on top of where we got to go.
Yeah, you want to go through that mess, though?
Hey, they made a lick white dog shit, so. So that's crazy, man. So, yeah, that's, it's wild, man.
Super wild.
But we'll see. Hopefully things end up better than what they are now.
I hope so. I don't know what it would take for. You got any kids?
Oh, yeah.
What's your youngest?
5.
I got a 9-year-old. I'm afraid for her, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Because think if it keeps going at the path that it's going on now. These kids, like I said, they are desensitized to everything. I pulled up at that, y'all got a QT right there. And I've been hearing about that QT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, oh, this that QT that this shit goes on at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And back in the day, I wouldn't think about nothing like that. You pull up at the gas station and but shit, I think that's the QT my boy Lil Will got. Lil Will got somebody tried to rob him and shot his finger off and shit, man. You can't get no gas no more, man.
Yeah.
So it's wild out there, bro. And it's all over the country. It's just not here in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just going around crazy. You know, people it's like that movie Crazy. Everybody done lost it or some shit.
Everybody, it's purge. It's
Damn.
purging, man. These boys out here purging, man.
Yeah.
Huh? What, running in stores? Look at that.
Yeah.
What do they call them? Flash bandits.
Yeah. Everybody just. Nah, I seen. You know what? I seen this video the other day. I think it was in New York. The new iPhone was coming out.
I saw that.
Everybody just stormed that iPhone store.
I saw that. I saw that.
Damn.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
about the ones that run up in the mall and do it? And then have to run through the mall with all that shit. You know, you got to be brave to do something like that, bro.
Yeah.
They run up in the mall, go to the Louis store, and the store's in the middle of the mall. Running there with about 20 people. What you gonna do? It's 20 of these kids. They all masked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't see who they are.
If I work at the store, hey,
You can have it.
go ahead and hey, get some for me.
I think California's got that don't chase law.
Yeah.
You know, you can't pursue them. So
I mean, because I remember I was in retail when I was a kid. So I used to work for an Office Max.
Yeah.
And that was what, 98?
Yeah.
So they used to tell us, it's like, hey, if you see them, put it in their pocket, you know, we could get the laws here before they leave the store.
Not when I was in retail.
You know what I mean? But you had to physically see them.
Yes.
You know, then you could call the laws.
Yeah.
But if they were on the verge of, they're like, let them go, don't stop them.
Oh yeah.
Let them go.
See, I came up when I was in high school, it was the early 80s to mid 80s. You know, I can remember working at Sears and Foley's and loss prevention chase you down, bro. Beat your ass and shit. I saw a dude standing in between the clothes, the dude running down the aisle stealing. He just sucker punched the dude as he passed him. I lost prevention, sucker punched him. And he ended up flying through the clothes. Yeah, that type of stuff. You know, you risking your life over this store's property. You know, but yeah, they used to encourage us. Help them chase these guys in the parking lot. Think about that, bro. And by the time you came up, they was like, don't do that no more.
No, I ain't chasing nobody.
Yeah, it was Wild Wild West, and you know, I graduated in 1986, so that gives you kind of a wonder. You still lost prevention.
You know, even today at work, I be seeing people doing some crazy shit. And I was like, oh, you really love this company.
Yes.
Because me put my life on the line for this company? Shit. They don't pay me enough to do that.
They don't pay you much. No.
Yeah,
no. And then you just, what they gonna do, put a parking spot? Your name on a parking spot or something, a little plaque on the wall. They probably not gonna do too much for your family. You know, if something really happens to you, you know, you're gone. And that company's gonna keep on rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
they'll replace you by a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, a couple of weeks. Come on, man, they got an application on file.
Hey, call that one kid.
Yeah, we're gonna interview him tomorrow. You know, that position's got to be filled.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah. But we're gonna jump into the interview portion of the show, man, and you know, get to know our guests. You know what I mean? So, hey, Bobo, let them know who you is, man.
I'm Bobo Luchiano, out of Oak Cliff, Texas, Singing Hills to be exact.
Oak Cliff in the house.
Yeah. I was born and raised here, man. Dallas is my home. I love Dallas. I mean, to the heart, bro. You know, and like you said, that curse, it hurts my heart to see that we're a major city. Mm-hmm. It just hurts my heart to see that we're not what we're supposed to be in hip hop, especially.
Yeah. Because
I know we got talent. But I've been in love with hip hop. You know, I told you I saw hip hop start. I remember before it was any rap played. And I remember when Rapper's Delight came out and Curtis Blow came out. And I was probably in the 6th grade. You know what I mean? And my senior year, my junior year, I went to Skyline. You know what I mean? So I got bused from Oak Cliff out to the Grove. We started this little group called the Romeos, where we used to DJ parties and shit, you know, high school parties and house parties, you know, back when it was safe to do so. And I was like the, I'm not going to say I was the main attraction, but, you know, a lot of the people were popular in our group. But the guy who owned the DJ equipment, he wasn't as popular as the other people. So we would get the crowds based on us, but we would use his DJ equipment. He was in our clique.
Yeah.
I'm bringing this up because this lesson taught me a lot in life. You know what I mean? Because you know how people say you're supposed to let and let live, and don't hold nothing on your heart. But you know, it's one thing in my life that just has always bothered me, and that was that. You know, this guy named Michael Comier. You know what I'm saying? He had a DJ set up, and we made a lot of money on that. And when he went out to Prairie View, you know, he left the DJ equipment with, you know, at my house. And I said, hey, you know, the agreement was, if you have a party, I'll come home. If I have a party in PV, you just load it up in the U-Haul and bring it down here. And so one day he calls me. He's like, bro, I got a party down here. I said, okay, cool. And so he come and get the equipment and all the records. Now, mind you, we've been DJing for 3 years, so I've got a lot of records that I spend my own money on. I had records that my cousin from up in on the East Coast, special records that people, you know, remixes that you couldn't get down here in Texas. I'm talking about some of the shit that when I used to play it, it would, you know, turn the party out. And he called me. I called him. I said, man, we got a party coming up, you know, in Dallas. He's like, yeah, I'm not coming back with the equipment. I said, well, can I get my records? And that fool said, you got these records from money you made DJing on my equipment. So I lost everything, which taught me a valuable lesson. I hadn't seen him to this day. So this is something that I'm talking about back in 88, 89. I haven't seen this. I mean, but if he was in front of me, it'd have been different. You know what I mean? But imagine, you know, you worked hard. You know, we wasn't, you know, minimum wage was $3.25 back then. You know what I'm saying? So we working hard. I'm working 40 hours a week to come home with a $300 check. You know, that type of shit. So I'm working hard before I, you know, hit the street life. And that boy just took all my heart, took all my vinyl, man. You know, that's everything to me. And that one thing has just burnt my heart, you know, about this dude. Maybe I need to talk to him and get it. Maybe we need to box. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we need to box and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that dude, his name is Michael Comier, man. I could tell you a wild story about that whole era. That'll probably make your podcast go crazy. A true story though.
Yeah.
True story. You know what I'm saying? That was a historical part of Dallas. You know what I mean? And if you want to talk about it, we can. But that
so we got time.
Okay. Well, I remember. I told you. I don't know. I was involved with this rap group called Nemesis.
Yeah.
Right. That's back when KNON. They were on KNON at first. It was called the All Hearted Death Party. It was Snake, Big Al, and Casanova.
What year was this?
I think they started around 85, maybe.
So this is Dallas 1985.
Yes, yeah. And so now we're in 86. You know, I'm off in college in North Texas. And I had a friend that we've already started throwing parties and everything, right? So I'm gonna jump around, but it's all gonna come together. I had a friend that we were best friends in elementary school, probably until like the 3rd grade, and he moved away. So I never saw this guy again. But when I got out to North Texas, boom, I run into him.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in like the most popular dorm, right? He had moved to Plano. You know, people from Oak Cliff wasn't going to Richardson or Plano. I said Plano, he moved to Richardson.
Yeah.
You know, and I move out, I'm there, and somehow my roommate I didn't have a roommate. I'm in the most popular dorm. You know, we got, you know, 2 twin beds. I done push the twin beds together, make me a king. So I got a room by myself.
Yeah.
And it was a little kid always in there. He was always rapping. He had braces. He would wear like this little tight base bicycle hat flipped up in the front like a lotto hat.
Yeah.
And they came to me. I probably had their room for about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months by myself. And he came to me and said, man, this dude lost his housing. You think you can let him move in with you? I said, yeah, he cool. I love hip hop. So when he came into my, you know, we became roommates. And then he said, man, I'm in this rap group called Something Fresh. They were from Hamilton Park, right?
Yeah.
You know, and And he said, yeah, we dealing with this group called All Hearted Deaf Party. Well, I had already known Al, Big Al. My sister had introduced me. He used to be part of this other DJ group called General Jam, but which introduced me to Snake. So I had been up there a couple of times and they knew me, because of the Romeo stuff. And so I'm up in North Texas. So I remember, North Texas was famous for, make a long story short, Something Fresh became the group Nemesis. Yeah. They merged with All Hearted Deaf Party. So my roommate was the main rapper in Nemesis. Okay. So fast forward, with DJing, when we discussed throwing parties, the reason we were able to do it is because this guy had this equipment that had just been sitting dormant. His brother was probably 4 years older than us, 3, 4 years older than us. And he had become, born again Christian. So they had the DJ equipment just sitting there. So I said, man, y'all not using your stuff. Let's start using it. And I remember the first time we DJ'd, his brother showed up. He had his, suit on. He was real, square acting. You know what I mean? And then I can remember every week we would have a party. We would throw it at the National Guard Armory off of Redbird. You can't get there because after Desert Storm, they put a big old fence around that armory. But we used to throw a lot of parties there. And he would show up, help us hook it up, leave. Because he didn't want to be around. He was that kind of Christian. Didn't want to be around the party atmosphere at all. Yeah. Then he would come back after the party, help us break it down. And then so I started noticing that he would stay longer and longer in the parties. Next thing you know, I see him trying to holler at one of the girls. And I know he's married. Yeah. Got kid, I think, or something like that. Young. He's a young kid. And we still in our 20s, him too. And at this time, well, I'm just going to tell you. So North Texas was known for this Greek party, Greek show. While the Greeks would come up, do all this stepping and everything, and everybody from Dallas, Houston would come down. You had the Capitol Beach party in PV, and then you had the Greek show at North Texas. And so my roommate, well, not my roommate, we had my dorm was a suite. So it had a room here, a bathroom that we shared with an adjoining room. And so my roommates was 2 white boys, and they knew all the black people was finna come in town. So they said, hey, all the white people was getting up out of North Texas that weekend. And he said, y'all can just, use my room, whatnot, just don't break nothing, don't steal nothing. I say, cool, we play up. And so they come down, they rent like this big old, let's just say Winnebago. They all come from Dallas up here, his brother and everything. And his brother's name is Don Cormier, okay? And at this time, I want to tell you this story, but I'm trying to make it have at this time, it was these things going on, these crimes. I'm not going to tell you what kind of crimes. You could hear it. I mean, it's on the news. Yeah. On the news, bro. And so I can remember them coming down. And so after the Greek show, we had everybody came to my room. I stayed in Kerr Hall, room 747. I never forget. And girls was in my room. We was in the other guy's room, and he was trying to mess with this one girl. And it got to the point. It's time. The sun's coming up now for the next day. Yeah. And the guy's like, the girls that it was one girl he was trying to mess with, and another girl, and they had to leave. Well, I had to walk them down. Because you had to, it was a co-ed dorm, but you're really not supposed to have girls in your room that late. And so I walk him down. I'll walk with you. And so we get on the elevator, and he's just steady hitting on this girl, right? Hitting on this girl. And you can tell she's pushing his advances away, like, I'm not interested. Yeah. And so I said, bro, she said no. I'm a kid, I'm like 19. Bro, she said no, man. No means no. He say, oh man, just follow my lead. I remember this. And he said, just follow my lead. I'm like, what does that mean? No, man. No means no. So I get the girls up out of there, right? Yeah. So they take the Winnebago back, the next day. So these crimes were rape crimes, right? They were abducting white ladies, right? Throwing them in the trunk, raping them, making them go to the ATM machine, empty out their bank account, that type of shit, right?
Yeah.
Come to find out, he was one of the guys.
Oh shit.
There was two of them. I went to junior high school with the other one. The other one's name is, I ain't gonna bring his name up because it ain't got nothing to do with him. But yeah, those guys got 40 years in jail. But that Winnebago, he ended up, when he took the Winnebago back to the rental place.
Yeah.
In the rental place, they ended up raping the lady that checked in the vehicle.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And how they got caught was, I mean, I'll tell you, they were throwing the women in the trunks and just, somebody could have died for one thing. They were leaving them in trunks, and one lady was able to kick herself out of the back seat and get out and go for help. That's how they got caught. And so, yeah, he's still in the pen to this day from the late 80s.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was all on the news, bro. I mean, imagine you two young black guys raping white girls and throwing them in the trunk, kidnapping white girls, raping them, and robbing them. So yeah, that was big. And I think, and I always think about how he was trying to make me follow his lead.
Yeah.
I said, this dude was trying to get me to help him rape somebody.
Man, you would have got caught up.
Bro.
Wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No, God has always covered me though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was raised right. You know, all the dirt I did, I always did it with a conscience. But I ain't that kind of that dude, I mean, rape?
Yeah.
Come on, you just heard me say, Puffy, you get what you deserve if you doing all that to women. So I don't believe in that, man.
Yeah.
There's too many girls at that time, especially giving it up willingly to be taking something from somebody. Yeah. So that was big news in Dallas, man. And so fast forward, so I'm with Nemesis, right? Nemesis, I remember in my neighborhood, Singing Hills, there was this big time kingpin had put a stereo shop and alarm shop in my neighborhood. If I say his name, everybody knows who he is, right? And Snake was one of his DJ Snake was one of his installers of the stereo, so I could walk around there every day. You know what I mean? And Snake had a S10 Blazer bumping, and so he's like, "Bobo, get in here, man. I want you to hear this new kid I'm working on." Yeah. So Nemesis is already hot. They already got Last Night Out, which turned into Munchies for Your Bass. They did the original Oak Cliff song. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which was under Something Fresh before they turned into Nemesis. So he played this tape for me because it was before CDs. And it's don't suck my dick. Don't you know who that is, huh? Yeah. It was Ron C. Trendsetter. Ron C from Pleasant Grove. So I was like, damn, this dude kind of sound like Too Short. So yeah, man, he from California area, so he's got that vernacular like they do. And so make a long story short, we all became one big clique. And we had a club that we were right in front of Redbird Mall. It was called Dallas Nights. My boy Keith, James Price, that owned Park Ave, Rockefellers, Phenomenon, Jamie's, those guys. We all kind of started off around the same time. They were running that club. And Snake and Big Al were the DJs at that club. And so we had the key. So we would go up there and do our rehearsing. And so Ron was a solo act. And so Ron, he's walking around the club doing his, practicing his raps. So I grabbed the other mic, you know what I'm saying? And kind of hyping him up, hyping the crowd. He said, I'm gonna hire you as my hype man. I said, really? So yeah, I became Ron C's hype man. But Ron C was affiliated with that family who put that stereo shop in our neighborhood. And he had already had a pending case, you know what I'm saying? And so they both get signed to Profile Records, you know what I'm saying? Nemesis and Ron C, they signed pretty much on the same day. And he went to jail before the album even came out, which had the song South Dallas Drop on it, which was, me and DJ Snake. You know, it was on Run C's album, but that's my voice on there.
Yeah.
And funky lyrics, all that was on that album. And that album sold, I think like 200-some thousand copies in the first week.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Without any promotion or nothing, man. No videos and them. But Snake and I was the ones that was running back and forth from the offices was right out here off of 635 in Alpha. You know, right, the tollway in Alpha Road, our management office. And so Ernie Phillips and Kim Bahari. So we did that. Ron comes out of jail. We doing, you know, his second project. He's a star now. Ron C was probably the first person in the rap game that I heard people talking about free Ron C. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when Ron got out of jail, he's at the top of his game as far as popularity. It's like the Free Pimp C movement. You know what I'm saying? So we do this tour. Well, we doing individual shows all over the place. So we get booked on the Too Shorty the Pimp tour.
Oh, yeah.
And it's supposed to be Ron C, Too Short, and Spice One. First place we go, I think, was in Little Rock, Arkansas. And then when I say it's a tour, I'm not talking, it's an arena tour. So it's like, 20,000 people out there, bro.
Yeah.
It's a big event, but they tell us we got 15 minutes and we got this stage show. His whole persona was, okay, the name of the album is Back on the Streets from the Pen. So if you look at that album cover, he's got on his blue Dickies, like a light blue shirt, like he was a prisoner with his, combat boots on. So we was like, well, let's do a play on that. I ain't never been to the penitentiary, but I've been to Loose Derrick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get one of those orange jumpsuits, like you were aggravated. I put me a prison number on it. And I've been bald for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I had this wig, Afro wig.
Yeah.
And I had my old man let me have this chainsaw, real chainsaw. This was when rap you had to put on a show. We get there we backstage and they said, okay, we've added like 8 acts on this show. I'm talking about DJ Quick's on this show, Second to None, In Too Deep. There's a lot of people on this show. I'm like, fuck, your time just went down to 5 minutes.
Wow.
Well, we had it structured how I was going to come out. You know what I'm saying? He was going to come out first and I was going to come out with that chainsaw. And I told him, I said, say, bro, what are we going to do? He said, we're probably act number 6 or 7 now. You know what I'm saying? And I said, the only thing we can do is I come out right in the second verse, so we can get this shit popping. And I did that. I came out the room, that changed, like, smoke jumping all out. And bro, the crowd goes crazy. And by the time we got to the next city, I think which was in Atlanta, they had moved us all the way up. So we're the third act right before the headliner, so it's like Too Short and then, Spice One and then Too Short. And they give us our 15 minutes back. You know what I'm saying? These boys putting on the show. And everybody there is talking about, oh man, we heard y'all killed this show, what not. So we became, that's how I met Spice. Shout out to my brother, rest in peace, G Nut, extra large. And by the third show, we were in Lafayette at the Cajun Dome, right? Mm-hmm. And I had heard, you remember the group, the Convicts?
Yeah.
With Big Mike and 3-2, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we were friends with, both of them because we, Nemesis and Run C had been on tour with Rap a lot from the beginning. They were the 2 biggest groups in Texas. And we had, we go to Austin, come back, go to San Antonio, come back, go all these little country towns, all with Rap a lot. And so we were real good friends with those guys. And one time when Big Mike and 3-2 had gone to Death Row, out in California, and Big Mike got the phone call to, replace Willie D, when 3-2 flew to Dallas, when Big Mike flew to Houston, because he was going to do some writing for Big Al on the next Nemesis project. Mm-hmm. I was the one that picked him up from the airport. And he said, hey, Bobo, listen to this little cassette. These guys from Port Arthur, Texas. 1 with a trigger, 2 with a... I'm like, who was these little kids? And they was jamming. It was UGK. So fast forward, we at Lafayette, UGK's on the show, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, Ron C and I had the biggest dressing room. And we cool with everybody. So everybody's in our dressing room. I mean, Too Short, Spice, everybody's in our dressing room, and we're wondering why no one's gotten their back in. Our manager, shout out Rich Mac. Rich Mac had gone in the office and seen that it was stacks of money out. I mean, it's packed out there.
Yeah.
He said he got the money, but he ain't paying. So everybody's, I mean, ain't nobody moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we finally get the money, but by that time, UGK had walked in, right? And they would. I talked to Bun. He was like, "Say, we just signed the jive. We gonna come to Dallas, and Ashley out there to Irving, and they didn't know it was gonna be in Irving. We're coming to Dallas to finish up our projects. We're gonna record here in Dallas." And so I was talking to Pimp, and he was like, yeah, you know, we come to Dallas, you know, I got, you know, and I call y'all when I get there. And so he called me and Ron C, but I was the only one that showed up. That's back before blunts. We was rolling joints.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I show up with a few joints. I'm the only one that was showing up, right? And so one time he said, Bobo, I got this song we're going to do. It's called Welcome to Texas, right? And I said, okay. And he said, I'm going to put you on it. It's going to be me, Pimp C, Bun B, DJ Bird from UGK. He don't rap. You know what I'm saying? And you. I said, okay, no doubt. So the day we record, and Run C. And so the day we recorded, Pimp had me run him to the store. First of all, they asked me where was Ron at the first couple of times. I said, I don't know, maybe he's just tired of doing something.
Yeah. And
I think that kind of rubbed them wrong that I was the only one showing up. And so when we got back from getting the weed, you know what I'm saying, he had put his little brother, Gangsta C, in my spot. And it ran him hot. He said, bro, I left that verse open for you. How y'all gonna do this? But at that time, Nemesis and Run C were the stars. UGK wasn't, you know, they were just not coming out.
Yeah.
So he felt compelled to, okay, you know, y'all big broing me on this type of shit. You know, Pimp was only like 18 years old. So he pulled me in the hallway. We was at the Dallas Sound Lab. He say, man, how much money that nigga paying you for your, you know, to be his hype man? I told him. He started laughing. He said, what? He said, man, if that nigga ever do anything dirty to you, you know, the way you're not satisfied, you can be UGK's hype man because you really the show. I said, okay. Fast forward, something happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't say what happened because me and Ron cool now.
Yeah.
But something happened, and I became UGK's hype man, you know, and doing the Super Tight tour. So they was recording Super Tight here in Dallas at the Dallas Sound Lab. So I saw him record from backside to side, 316s. I was supposed to be on that album. I did a song with it was Pimp C. I rapped the second verse and Big Mike rapped the third verse. Okay, it was called High Till I Die, right?
Yeah.
All the way up until like a week before the album. I mean, they had sent the artwork and everything, and High Till I Die is on there. But he had sampled, I can't remember the song, but it had Tupac. He's High Till I Die, do 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 do, high till I die. But he couldn't get that cleared. You know what I'm saying? So instead of them going in, Pimp was adamant about, I want it raw like how I have it in my head. That's how I want it to come out. So he's like, well, if y'all ain't gonna do it like that, I'm not gonna go in and say it, you know, just scrap the song. I'm like, oh, there go my song that's supposed to be on UGK album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I did that, and but I still was the hype man. So I'm actually the only hype man official hype man that UGK has ever had. Because after that, they started, you know, Run DMC in it, just those two on stage. So in between Super Tight and Riding Dirty is when I came back to town, and on December the 8th, 2005, I lost my little boy in a house fire. And that's when, you hear the song on Riding Dirty. On one day you hear it, next day you're gone. And he said, my man Bobo just lost his baby. So that's me. And so I just really wasn't feeling traveling anymore. So he was always adamant about, well, Bobo, get something started in Dallas. I mean, you got popularity, you're a go-getter. You can get something started. So I started, well, let me back up. While I was in Port Arthur, he had been saying the same thing. He wanted me and DJ Bird to start get a radio show in Lake Charles. Lake Charles was the first city right outside of Port Arthur.
Yeah.
Lake Charles, Louisiana. You leave Port Arthur, I say out of Port Arthur, out of Texas. You leave Port Arthur, you go to Orange, Texas, and then boom, you're in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And so we, made our little sound check tape, take it to the place. And we think we finna get on because we're UGK. It's going to be UGK radio.
Yeah.
Pimp was going to come back and forth and do different appearances, Bun as well. Well, that didn't happen. They didn't give us the job. So, but when I came back to Dallas, I started doing these radio drops, for, I think the DJ at the time was a guy named, matter of fact, I just heard he passed away. His name was Broadway Joe. Mm-hmm. He was the 6 to 10 job. Broadway Joe. So I did his intro. Okay. So every night from 6 to 10 at 6 o'clock, you would hear me, for about 6 months. You know what I'm saying? I was the intro to his show. So the next guy that came in, his name was KK Holiday. I don't know if you remember this. You remember KK? KK Holiday ended up leaving K104 and started work for TRL on MTV. Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did his intro. So I'm getting my name out there from doing that. I used to go to the club and they'd be like, well, this Bobo from UGK, I could get in free and all that type of stuff. Cause I was, we were still young. And so, from there, Big Al from Nemesis approached me. He's like, man, I've been hearing your stuff on the radio. He said, I want to do an album, right? I said, okay, we can do an album. How you want to do it? He said, well, I'm not no writer. If you'll write all my stuff. And so we was recording down at the Dub One studio. It was at the Longhorn Ballroom. Okay. You remember that bull that was outside the Longhorn Ballroom? Yeah. That was a Mexican restaurant called Raul's. Right above Raul's, these 3 white guys lived up there, and there was a studio up there. Shout out to Steve Paul. I don't know if you know Steve Paul.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, what happened was Cottonmouth recorded Killer Cottonfields in there, and it was wild. These are nerd white boys. Yeah. And they could, they don't smoke in here, and they all with their shirt all. It's a part of there. Yeah. They got formaldehyde, dipping. I mean, it's wild. So they got barred from the studio. So I went up to him and talked to him like a gentleman and said, hey man, I mean, those are my guys. I know them, I love them, but this ain't got nothing to do with me. Can I record her? And I promise nothing like that to happen. And so he allowed me to record my album up there, right? Mm. And not my album, the Big Al album. And so we did the Big Al album. The last song we did was Already. And so Already became everyone's favorite. K104 jumped on it. At that time, we didn't have 97.9. So 104 was put us in like full rotation. And it was just me and another guy from my little brother group that was out of my hood called Triple OC. Mm-hmm. And that's really what sparked everybody in Dallas to start saying Already. You know what I'm saying? Because this was in 97, 98.
Okay.
Yeah. And so everybody asked me, did you start the term already? Did Already start in Dallas? No, it didn't. I had heard Already being on the road with UGK in and out of Houston, in and out of Louisiana. So I'm not going to take credit for that. But I think I coined the word here in Dallas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, at the time, K104 was reaching all the way to Tyler, all the way down there halfway to Houston. So everybody in between heard Already from my song that was on that Big Al album. So one day, Pimp had never heard the album. He called me. He was on my way home. He was on his way to my house from Port Arthur. He's like, I said, bro, I'm glad you showing up. I got this project I want you to hear. He said, no doubt. And so as soon as he get there, I play the whole album for him. He said, and the name of the album was Big Al's Ghetto Story featuring Bobo, right? Because I'm on every song. And He said, I hear you on every song. He said, but I hear y'all make these beats on a computer or something. Y'all didn't make y'all drums on a drum machine. And I said, no. I said, how can you hear that? He said, man, my ears trained. I can hear it. Them drums ain't hitting. He said, I tell you what I do. He said, he trying to pull a little Troy. That's what he said, because at that time, Want to Be a Baller had came out, and Lil Troy wasn't on that song at first. It was just Youngster and somebody else. But Lil Troy took the credit, right?
Yeah.
So he said he trying to pull a little Troy. I said, yeah, I laughed. He said, well, you call him and you tell him I got my drum machine in the car. You tell him I do all the drums on this album right here. He said the beats are solid. You just need more drums. I'll redo all the drums. You can use Pimp C from UGK name. All I want him to do is say, this is Bobo's album. I called Big Al. Big Al said, nope. So I hung up the phone. He said, no. He said, he gonna regret that. So after that, we had some money issues. I separated from him. You know what I mean? And because we ain't got to deal with South by Southwest. Shout out to Robert Gilliman, you know, and all them boys down there in Houston. We had got a distribution deal through South by Southwest, and they gave him a bunch of money. But as soon as he and I walked through the door and they found out he was Big Al from Nemesis, their antennas went up. Ooh, hey, can we do another Nemesis album? Well, Snake was living in Atlanta working with Too Short, him and Quinn Black.
Yeah.
Azim, my college roommate, he was already working for he was the VP for Bad Boy. Yeah. Right under Puff. Yeah. You know, well, he went through, he may have been working for Motown at that time, but you know, he's a big time record executive still to this day.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it didn't get done. So I told Pimp, I said, man, I'm going to do my own record. And he gave me that, you know, he came up and, gave me a beat. He moved to Dallas. Well, I ain't gonna say he moved to Dallas. He came to Dallas because he moved here once before. I used to live right over here. You know what I'm saying? He moved in with me. Oh God, I used to live in the apartment's now called the Indigo.
The Indigo.
Yeah, I used to live in them before they were called the Indigo. You know what I mean? And Pimp lived there. People don't know Pimp C lived there with me for probably about 2.5 months. You know what I'm saying? Because we were here trying to work on my project, but the guy didn't come through with the money. So had us broke as a fuck, bro. So the verse on Bitch Get Up Off Me, where I say, when things got rough, me and C hit the cut, that was real. You know what I'm saying? Because I had some cheese, you know, saved up. Yeah. You know, and I poured them in his hand and said, where you get this from, Bobo? I said, hey man, for a rainy day. It's a rainy day. And so we went to my hood singing hills. Pimp C was on the cut. I said, I can't sell it. He said, I'll sell it. You give me a hat and a jacket, I'll be out there on the cut. So I took him to this little street called Lazy River. So Pimp C stood out on the cut. That's a true story. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, but the guy never came through to pay us for the Bitch Get Up Off Me beat. You know what I'm saying? So he just told me I could have it. And that's how Bitch Get Up Off Me came about. You know, so from there, I went and started my first, I went to KNON and I started that radio show, the Dirty South Block Party. Yeah. At that time, that's before 97.9 was probably about 3 weeks away from starting. But nobody was playing music from the South. K104 they wasn't really playing any rap. K104 it went straight R&B. You know, for about 2 years, K104 played nothing but R&B. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they were doing. They was trying to get out of playing rap. But we started that show and I was the one that broke Oak Cliff, That's My Hood. I broke all the Swisser House stuff, Screw stuff, DSR. I was the first one to play all that here in Dallas. To the point to where Skip Cheatham would send them to me first. Because you know, you go to Radio Day trying to get your stuff played, he would be like, man, if have you been to Bobo yet? And he'd be like, no. And he sent them to me first and I would play this stuff. So imagine, you know, KNON was no pay. You know what I'm saying? And I did that for 8.5 years. Community radio, doing players drives to get our money. So I did that for 8.5 years, every Saturday night from 10 to midnight Dirty South Block Party with Bobo and them. That's how I met my wife. She was my first co-host. You know what I'm saying? So, but she was only 16 then. You know what I'm saying? But I was married to another lady, but you know, about 8-9 years later we hook up. You know, she's 24 years old and I am the age that I was. And we end up dating and we've been together ever since. That was in 2008. So, but yeah. And so from there, you know, we raised a family. You know, I stepped off the scene for probably about 15 years. We always had dream of starting a podcast. And once the pandemic hit, we was pretty much ready. But I was afraid to spend that money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know where my next check was going to come from because I was in the car business and it really slowed up in the car business. And, but 2022, we got it off the ground. It's called Super Tight and ode to the UGK album that I was the hype man on, the tour that I was on. And Super Tight TV was born. So that's what I'm doing now. So
that's dope. That's dope, man.
That's a rundown.
Oh yeah.
In a nutshell.
I didn't know that the Super Tight, that's where the name came from.
Yeah, it's just, and I did it right. You know, one thing about UGK and I learned from Pimp C, you know, everything back then was about originality. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come steal somebody's line and not give them credit. So every time you hear Pimp C say somebody else's line, he'd be like Biggie say, and then he say the line.
Yeah.
You know, just don't say the line and not give that person credit. Yeah. And so that's always been in my head, be original. So when we were about to start Super Tight TV, I pick up the phone. I call Bun. I said, Bun, we about to start this podcast. I quit my job. Woo. I want to name it Super Tight. Is that okay? He blessed it, and we went on from there. So, so that's, and we've had some pretty iconic interviews, you know. Yeah. I
mean, most of that, because I be keeping my eyes on.
Oh, thank you,
And I be watching, and But yeah, I've been seeing your movement, you know, and it's crazy that I didn't know a lot of stuff that I just heard.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, it's dope to hear some Dallas history.
Yeah.
You know, some real Dallas legends, man.
Thank you, bro.
You know, I hear that word being tossed around a lot.
It does get tossed around a lot.
You know what I mean? But, you know, somebody like you that's actually put in that work. Yeah. You know, done the stuff that you've done. Yeah. You know, that's where I could be like, you know, now that's a Dallas legend.
Thank you, bro. That's basically the heart that I have, my wife and I have, was basically the same type of heart with, you know, KNON, you know, just trying to help the city, you know, and that's what we attempted to do. That was our plan on starting Super Tight. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get some of these legends in here like you do, you know, get the legends, put the spotlight on them, and I help some of these new people out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's so hard because of that Dallas curse, you know what I'm saying? The work ethic that the rappers have in the city now is, because, you know, our studio was out there in Fort Worth. You know I'm from Dallas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we moved it out there so we wouldn't be around everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because Dallas is a hotbed for podcasts and platforms. Yeah. So we want to separate ourselves a little bit. And we found a nice little spot out there. Remember I said I learned a valuable lesson from that guy, you know, taking my records. I bought my own equipment so nobody can take their ball home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm taking my ball and going home. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like, y'all can't play.
It's my ball. It's my ball. That's how he did me. Yeah. So that's the lesson I learned from that, to never let anybody be able to control my destiny again. So if I fail, it's on my own merit. You know what I mean?
So I wanted to ask you, since you were pretty close to Pimp.
Yeah.
You know, where were you, and how did you react to the news when he passed?
At that time, bro, I was going through a divorce. I had just left him. You know, I told you I was in the car business, and I would take my vacations at the beginning of October every time, because that's when the fair was. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the car business would just get dead. So I had just left him for probably 4 or 5 days. I spent down there in Houston and Port Arthur with him. And then he knew I was going through a divorce. I was going through a depression. Didn't know it at that time. And we were about to start. I don't know if you know that, you may have heard some of those interviews, but I was the first one to interview Pimp when he first came home from prison on KNON, and we did like 4 iconic interviews. They're on YouTube now. Matter of fact, they're on. I took my content back. A couple of them are on Super Tight TV. Y'all can go check that out. But yeah. So he loved calling me in and just going federal on the phone, doing one of them iconic Pimp C interviews. And so when I was down there, he knew everything I was going through. He said, well, Bobo, you need to just come on, be back with your family. And I said, yeah, I will. You know what I'm saying? He wanted me to kind of be there. I think he was having a little issue with the road manager that they had at that time that was dealing with his clique, not UGK, but him and his clique. And I said, well, yeah, I'll come and help you. You know what I'm saying? He said, I also have at that time, Sirius and XM radio were separated, right? And they were, I take that back, they were just not merging around that time. And he said, man, I got a radio show with Sirius that they're going to let me do. I want it to be you, me, and Little Duval. You know who Lil Duval is?
Yeah, comedian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's back when he had first came on the scene. So I never met Lil Duval or anything. I don't know if he's ever heard me. I've told this story maybe once or twice before, but yeah. So that was the plan. I was going to come back to Dallas and, kind of finish with the divorce, try to, do something about my house because I was living out in Lancaster at that time. And I was about to get back on the road, with UGK and really with Pimp, and do the radio show. And so that Thanksgiving, they were here. So October, November, he's here. They were at Club Blue, UGK. The only UGK show that they did off of that UGK double album that he did. You remember that?
Yeah.
With Swissers and Doja and Quit Hating Us Out. Yeah, they did, I think, only one show together. And it was here at Club Blue. So what's that? The last Thursday of November. And I remember he and I were texting back and forth about the Scarface album. I can't remember I can't remember the name of the album, but it was supposed to be coming out that Tuesday. I was sitting in the parking lot. That's when KNON had moved over there off of Maple Street. Yeah. So, and I used to work at Friendly Chevrolet, and it was right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So I would get off on Saturday nights, go around, and I had gotten there early, so I'm texting him, so I got the new iPhone. That's when iPhone first came out. And we're talking about that album. And so I texted him that I had heard it and it was jamming, right? And he never replied. I said, what the fuck? So that was Saturday night. And I remember I had a homegirl, her name was Dollar Bill. You know what I'm saying? She used to strip at this club in South Dallas called Crybabies. I don't know if you remember what Crybabies was. No. Yo, it was iconic. Iconic hole in the wall, freaky. Yeah. So she used to dance there. And I remember I had to pick something up at my house. And my house in Lancaster had, a rear entry, through the alley. So my garage was in the back. And as I'm getting back in the car, this little white girl that Chad was messing with at that time called me. She said, they said Chad is dead. I said, no, because it was about a month or two before that, it was a rumor out about that. And I said, oh, that's fake news. I ain't say fake news, but I said, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? I pulled out my driveway and I'm going to the right. So I said, I call his mama. I said, mama. Excuse me. I call his mama. And she didn't say hello. She didn't say, hey, baby. All she did was say, yeah, baby, he gone. And I dropped the phone, stopped my truck, because how the alley went, it went around the corner to my street. And before I could make it to my street, I stopped right there and just broke down. I cried. That was one of the, outside of my little boy dying, yeah, that was the hardest I had ever cried, bro. Not because of the plans we had, but because of we were family, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that when I lost my little boy, that night, I remember calling Pimp. After everything had settled, me and the kid's mother, we were not together. But I took her because there was so much calamity at that house. You know, it was fire trucks, people was everywhere. 4 kids died in that house fire. You know what I mean? And I remember taking her away from that, and we went over to my parents' house. And I remember calling Pimp and telling him, because he had met the little boy. He had met my son, you know what I mean, a few times. And he broke down crying on the phone to me. I mean, boo-hooing on the phone. And yeah, man, it was just, you taking me back, bro. Yeah, so that time of my life, you know, me and Pimp we were family, you know, and Bun as well. Bun lived with me in Port Arthur. I had an apartment out there in Port Arthur. A lot of people don't know, doing Super Tight, Bun B moved to Atlanta for a little while. When he moved to Atlanta, after he moved back from Atlanta, I had a little spot in Port Arthur, and my roommate had moved to Louisiana. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment by myself, and he stayed with me until my lease ran out, and then I moved I wasn't really moving back to Dallas. I was really gearing up for the Riding Dirty album. So I was taking out it made no sense for me to have a spot and pay rent.
Yeah.
And we were never going to be home because I was super tight. We would leave probably on Wednesdays or Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? We would only be in town like 2-3 days a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I remember that day like it's burnt into my memory. You know what I'm saying? It was detrimental to me.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was your son's name?
John.
John?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
really?
Yeah. He was only 5 years old. He had just turned. The reason, that was the thing. I really wasn't coming back to move back to Dallas. Like I said, I was coming back to take and his birthday party was in October, right? And so I said, not his birthday party, his birthday. So I said, I'm going to be there in time for his birthday. So his 5th birthday, I was here for it. And I said, you know, they were leaving me in Port Arthur a lot. And see, my big mistake was I left my car here in Dallas. So I really didn't have a car in Port Arthur, especially because he talked me into leaving it here. You ain't gonna need it. I got 2 cars. You can drive my other car, you know, while you here. Because I live with him on that famous street, Sand Jack, you know, probably for about 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And once I got my own spot, and I started working at Sears again at the mall. I moved close to the mall, which was across town from where he lived. And then they started doing pre-production on Riding Dirty. Him and Bum would fly out of town, and I'd be just there by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, man, this shit, I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? I'm bored around here. I don't have no car to drive to go see any of the other guys. They're gone. You know what I mean? So I decided to come to Dallas, take all my stuff back. You know what I'm saying? I was just I don't know what I was going to do, you know, but I was going to come back and get back on the road with them. And I said, I'll just go ahead and stay through Christmas. And before Christmas hit, the house fire happened. So, yeah, it was fucked up. It was fucked up. And I always want to say this. I've been doing this a lot lately because everybody always talks about one day and they hear me. You heard me say there was four babies died, right? I lost one son, but it was a rap group in Dallas called the D Crew, right? And one of the main rappers in the D Crew name was Richard. And Richard was dating the older sister of my baby mom's, right? And he lost the other 3. Oh, wow. 2 of them were, so can you imagine being at a funeral, it's all little caskets like that? Man. Yeah, it was
heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He lost 3 kids all in one swoop, bro. And 2 of them were like a little 2-year-old twins. Oh, man. Yeah. The oldest one, my kid was 5. I think the oldest one may have been like 7. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
And I know it was a long time ago, but condolences.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
But yeah, that's wild, man. I see you got a Pimp C tattoo.
Yeah, got Pimp C here. I got little John right here. Got my mom. I lost my mom in 2016. At that time, of Pimp dying, I call him Chad. It's hard for me to call him Pimp. Yeah. The time of Chad dying, I was going through the divorce. My mom had just got diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Oh, wow. Yeah. And then he died. So I'm dealing with all this, not knowing that I'm going through a depression. I'm going off on people. The old Bobo I say all the time, y'all need to deal with Bobo Luchiano. He's the character. You don't want to see Bobo, because Bobo was the dude that did all the crazy shit, in the streets and all that old type of stuff. So they had a bad temper, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that old Bobo started coming out around my family and my job and stuff, and my wife talked to me about that, and I went to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't believe in that, especially in our culture. We don't believe in men, especially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She said you got one or two things. You can either go talk to somebody therapy wise, or I can put you on this medication. A lot of people don't believe in medication.
Yeah.
And I knew I just didn't have the time, because at the time I was a finance manager, and I was working. You hear about the car business.
Oh yeah.
I'm down there, the first one there, last one to leave. So I was working a lot of hours, and I couldn't find the time to just go lay on somebody's couch and talk to them. So I said, let me try that medication. And the first time I took that pill, bro, the first night, I'm weak on pills. My system just, that's why I don't do no type of drug like that, because it's gonna toss me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember doing the X days. I could only take a half X pill, and I'd be in that.
Yeah.
Then holding on for dear life. You know what I'm saying? Rolling, as they used to call it. I bitch, I might be.
Yeah.
But and that pill, boy, it felt like somebody switched the light switch on. So much to the fact I went to work the next day and apologized to everybody I had went off on and cussed out. Yeah. Because I felt like it wasn't me. I felt like the old me was back. Yeah. And I called my doctor. I said, it felt like somebody turned the light switch on. They said, the doctor told me, well, that's the term a lot of people use. It's like somebody flipped the switch. I said, damn. And it helped me a lot. I know a lot of people say, oh man, I don't believe in medication. The government is, all these conspiracy theorists and all that type of shit. But it helped me out a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? It got me to not be such an asshole. Yeah. Because me and Chad was friends for a while. I know you heard about him. That talking, we were friends for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a mouth on me too. I'm an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I've controlled that over the last 15 years. I give my wife all the credit in the world. Yeah.
Mental health is serious.
Yes, it is. Depression is real.
Yeah.
There's no face for it. You don't know you got it. You're thinking you all right. Yeah. But your actions speak differently.
What advice would you give somebody that might be dealing with some depression?
I advise them to go to the doctor. Either go talk to, I mean, medication might not be your thing, but at least talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I remember doing my first interview, it was on Boss Talk 101. And some of these same questions, you're going in a little bit more in depth, but it's therapeutic. Getting it off your chest and being able to talk about it and having somebody, ping pong, having a conversation about it. Because up until then, I told you, I secluded the world because I was going through a depression. I didn't know I was in a depression. It was just me, my wife, and my 4 daughters. Well, 3 daughters at that time. So I didn't know I was going through a depression because I was just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. You know what I'm saying? So once I encourage you to do something. Don't just, it's not going to go away. Yeah. It's one of them things that, back in the day, it was, you man up, man, shake that shit off. You can't. It's a chemical imbalance that, I'm not going to say endorphins. It's something that's released in your body that makes you act that way. Yeah. And people commit suicide not knowing why. People do all kind of crazy stuff off of depression that you really don't know that you're depressed. Mm-hmm. But if you got some real people in your corner and you know that they can kind of tell you that you're acting funny, you're acting off kilter, like my wife did. My wife doesn't say, man, you're right here tripping. You know what I'm saying? And I know I was tripping at work. You know what I'm saying? And she said, because like I said, I'm talking crazy to my daughters. You can't talk to little girls like that. And my little girls was in junior high school. Elementary school and junior high school at that time. Mm-hmm. I'm going off on them. She said, but you can't talk to little girls like that. I was like, oh, why not? They need to fucking get their shit. I'm wondering why I'm talking to them. But all that kind of went out the window once I got on my medication, bro. Yeah. So I advise that. It's a quicker fix. But like I say, you got those conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
You know, I don't take no medicine. That's just more government,
Control.
Control.
Yeah.
But it helped me out. I'm an advocate.
Man, if I would say if you're suffering from depressions, mental illness, make it to a doctor. If you can't make it to a doctor, talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody.
That's
why I say you got to have somebody in your corner to even point it out. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got nobody in your corner to check you, because I didn't have nobody in my corner but my wife at that time.
Yeah.
I told you I was secluded. I'm pretty sure if I was still hanging around, Pimp or somebody like that, or some of my guys that I grew up with, they'd been like, man, Bobo, you ain't acting the same.
Yeah.
You acting like an asshole, Bobo.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been like, what? But because I've always been one to try to, like I say, I've always had that conscience, try to, check myself and get myself straight. I don't care what people think about me, but I don't want nobody to be like, oh, damn, that motherfucker crazy. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna ask you, last question. I know surrounding Pimp's death, there was always these rumors that he was exposing a lot of shit at the time. That
yeah, conspiracy.
Yeah. That they took him out.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Pimp had I did an interview. We really never really talked about it. My wife and I and my camera guy, shout out to Kenny. We took our first mobile gig and we went down to Houston. And my first interview was, I don't know if you heard on Riding Dirty, How Till I Die.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Edgar on the boat. Well, Edgar, was the guy who was taking, once Chad came home from prison, he was the one taking all those pictures you saw, those glossy pictures you saw of Chad, that was Edgar.
Mm-hmm.
Trill Images. And you will see the logo Trill Images.
Yeah.
So he was going to be my first interview when we got there. So we unloaded, hooked up set up real fast in the hotel room. And as soon as he came in, he pulled out that picture and showed it to me. He said, I'm going to talk about this. And I said, oh shit. And we had already known what the story was. Yeah, it was something. Chad had got involved with the individual. Nobody put the guy up to it. You know what I'm saying? The guy was we call him, we renamed him Buddy. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't want to, for his family purposes, we didn't want to use his real name, but they call him L.A. He's from Jackson, Mississippi. And he had, the word was he gave Chad about $1 million, to help with UGK Records. And Chad had the type of thing where almost same thing happened in Dallas, because he's so busy, and plus he's I don't know if he was bipolar. I want to call him manic depressive. He was bipolar. So Chad and Pimp C was two different people, right? And if you tried to handle him, he gonna turn on that Pimp C on your ass. And so, he was kind of stiff arming the guy, hey man, hold on, man, you're gonna get your paper, but probably handling him kind of rough, because like I said, that high-pitched voice of his it was like somebody throwing darts at you when he going off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were in that hotel room, bro, and the reason we know this is because it was two girls in the room. It was that guy and Chad. So 2 guys, 2 girls. And I guess Chad had gone to the bathroom and the guy made a statement that he was going to play a joke on him, kind of post something in his drink. Well, whatever he pulled in his drink is what took him out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's it goes into detail on my because Edgar was really, he was the one that went there one of the ones that went there to ID the body. So stuff about Chad not being dead and he faked his death. No, he ID'd his cousin's body, and he saw the room. And, the report said, back then around that time, Screw had died. I don't think no one has really died of a drink overdose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may have died from complications dealing with drink, but no one just, I OD. It's like weed. You about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the coroner's report has said some shit like, Chad had sleep apnea. Chad had gotten really heavy after while he was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Chad was a big dude, bro. A lot bigger than what, I known him to be. And so I could see him having breathing problems being that big. So that's why it was so believable to me when they came out. And what sleep apnea does, have you ever been around somebody with sleep apnea?
Something like they stop breathing.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you
they
sleep.
come back,
Yeah. And they said because he had been drinking syrup, well, okay, your heart stops, right?
Mhm.
The syrup prevented his heart from starting back. I'll say, so you trying to tell me my homeboy accidentally killed himself? But then when you hear blood in the room, blood on the sheets, him throwing up blood, that ain't caused by no drink. You know what I mean? So we had been holding that in for a long time. You know what I mean? And how we got this news is one of the girls that was in the room came and told, Edgar and some of the other guys in the clique. So we got it from but my thing is this. The reason why I would not have aired it or exposed it, but back on conspiracy theories, I got sick of, Bun can fight his own battles. Bun is my little brother. I love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm sick of people talking about Bun had something to do with it. I know you've heard that.
Yeah.
Bun ain't shit, Bun this and Bun that and all that. I'm sick of that. Bun had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? It was just an unsavory character that Chad had ran across. No one put the guy up to it but himself, him being, if he can give you $1 million, then it don't hurt him. So that tells you what kind of individual, and this guy was in his 20s.
Yeah.
So they tell you what kind of individual he was, right? So I was sick of that. And the fact that I think the people that was in that room with him really should be held accountable, because if they dial 911, my buddy and his kids would still have a father. He'd still be here. Possibly.
Yeah.
They possibly could have saved him. All he had to do was dial 911. How do you leave a place and leave him like that? You know what I mean? And close him up in that room like, fuck him. He's dying, Why didn't anybody call 911? So that's why I was like, okay, let's do this. One, for Bun, and two, those girls that was in it, because the guy who did it, he's dead now.
Yeah.
They say he died pretty much the same way, in a hotel room, no bruises on him, just in there dead. I don't know, it was a drink overdose or, again, something dealing with drink or,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I never have heard of anybody dying over drink overdose, but they said that he was just in there dead.
Yeah.
So, but he was involved with some real serious people.
Yeah.
Let's just say he had a connect, and that connect might have taken him out,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's true. They could have called 911. That's failure to render aid.
Yes.
So,
And if I tell you, one of the girls right now is about to marry somebody famous. The girl who told us that.
wow.
It'll rock the music industry if I tell you who she was about to marry. But I keep that shit to myself because that's, but I know maybe she needs to be held accountable, or whoever else was in the room needs to be held accountable, because that was my family.
Yeah.
Not to mention he had 3 kids, a mother, a wife. You know what I'm saying? So I think he could have been saved.
Yeah.
Or possibly saved. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And I want to appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Coming through, show me some love. This is my way to give me your flowers, man.
Thank you. Oh. Flowers, that's for funerals. We still alive, baby.
But that's why you're allowed to smell them, you know what I mean?
Smell my flowers while I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So, best kind of flowers we get,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The other ones, can't smell those.
So, you see that post I put up the other day?
Nah, which one?
How do you tell somebody you know that their daddy was a fuckboy, a deceased daddy? Because no one ever talks bad about the deceased people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He could have been the worst person in life. They're gonna get up at the funeral and talk good about him.
Yeah.
Right? That's a crazy thing. Thank you again for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you again for coming by, man. And make sure to check out Super Tight TV.
Thank you, bro.
Go subscribe, follow. Go check him out on all his platforms. Got some great guests as well.
Yes.
So, Bobo Luchiano, man, thank you again, man.
Thank you, brother.
And I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. And like I always say, keep your ears to the streets, and I'll catch you on the block, man. It's your boy, Money Elms, man. And we out.
Already.
Peace.
Welcome to Elm Street. Merch available now on SourKidsMerch.com.